Thanks for watching Numbskull News, and today the Cowboys do it again. You can always count on them to disappoint the living shit out of you. And they did it. They did it. And look, if Jerry wants to fire Mike McCarthy, I got no issue with it. That's fine. I mean, but that's one of the things he's always had trouble is hiring head coaches. If you think about it, since Jimmy, have we had a good one? And don't give me Bill Parcells. The guy wasted time going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. You already had a good coach in Mike Zimmer. And what does he do? He trades away what would have been Steven Jackson for what? Marcus Spears? Could you imagine Romo with Steven Jackson? Would have been nice, you know? Anyway, I'm kind of getting off subject. But this is what's going to happen with Dak. I mean, that's where it comes down to. I didn't make any Cowboy videos during the season. The reason being, I wanted to shut the hell up, let everybody else puke out their opinions over the season. And because I was getting hopeful, I think a lot of people were getting hopeful. I was getting real hopeful, but there's always something in the back of my head, and that something was we do not have a top 5 quarterback. Now, for a period of time, I thought Dak had evolved into that. Now, overall, I still think he had a better season, maybe his very best season. It's still not good enough. You can win with Dak. Don't let me, don't get this thing totally twisted up. All right. You can win with Dak. All right. He can help you win a Super Bowl. He can help. He can't lead you there. You need an elite offensive line and an elite defense. Now, the defense is way better than it was last year. I thought it would be. It exceeded my expectations. It's a top 10 defense. Lo and behold, it's a freaking top 10 defense. However, it does have issues. It will give up a lot of yards. It will give up some points. It will not lock down a good offense. A bad offense, yeah, it'll destroy you. But a good offense, no. But it has to become elite. Top 5 defense, and you need a top 5 offensive line, which we do not have. We have a piss poor offensive line. It's not good. Lyle Collins, he's an okay right tackle. That's it. He's a middle of the road right tackle. That's what he's always been. He's an elite left guard and an okay right tackle. Tyler Biotish, he sucks. He's a backup. He's a good backup. If you need to use him for a couple games, fine, but he cannot be your starter. He sucks. And he's never going to get much better. And I understand you can't expect to get Travis Frederick in the you just can't. That guy was a great draft pick, and Travis Fredericks don't grow on trees, but you can find guys that are way closer to Travis Frederick than Tyler Biotish. Biotish, he's just a backup. That's what he is. Connor Williams, he's a free agent. Good. He's gone. He sucks. He's by far the worst on this whole damn offensive line. The worst. Tyron Smith, he's getting old, but you owe him a shit ton of money. I think you reworked his deal, and so good luck getting rid of him. You're not going to, not for the next couple of years. So you're going to have to deal with the injuries and then him trying to come back from them. You just have to understand that he's going to get hurt. And even if he's healthy, he's not the player he once was. He's going to get beat. He's going to get called for holding sometimes, and that's it. It wouldn't shock me if Dak went on a run the next 2-3 years and wins this division. He should, because his division sucks. So we should easily win this division every single year for the next 2-3 years running. But beyond that, once you get into the playoffs, Dak has been very well established. 6 years in this league. 6. He's gotten incrementally better the last year or two. And that's just numbers, not wins, just numbers. He'll beat the living hell out of the dog crap teams. Good teams, what happened? What happened? The same thing that always happens. He gets shut out that offense gets shut down. Dak gets shut down, and then in the fourth quarter, whoa, here comes Dak. I mean, it's a great party trick if you can light it up in the fourth quarter, but where are you in the first, second, and third? You're 7 points is what you are. At the end of the half, you have a chance to put points on the board. You don't do it. You get the ball back, get a chance to put points on the board. You don't do it. Dak throws a suck-ass interception, cost a touchdown. Look, I like Dak. I mean, he's drastically overpaid. That was always the danger. But he will keep you from just completely sucking. Absolutely, he will. You're not going to be a 5-11 team or 5-12 or whatever. You're not going to be that with Dak. And like I said, Dak should be able to help you win this division for the next 2 or 3 years running. But once you get in the playoffs, if you don't have an elite offensive line, at the very least, Dak's not going to do much for you. And you really need to have a top 5 defense. The defense has got to get better. You got to keep adding draft assets into this defense until it gets to that level. It's on its way, but you have to keep building. And you got to rebuild this offensive line. You just do. And you're going to be drafting, in the 20s, mid-20s, or whatever in this next draft. You got to identify whoever the best center, pure center, not center guard, not some hybrid bullshit. A guy who's just a fucking center, just like Travis Frederick was, and you draft him in the first round. Once you do that, then devote the next 4 or 5 rounds to your defense. Now let's go back to McCarthy. Why I wouldn't mind them at all parting ways with McCarthy. I defended the hire. I liked the hire. I defended him all last year. Even this year, I was defending Mike McCarthy and the play clock stuff, the clock management crap. But there's just no excuse for all the damn penalties. I mean, the most penalized team by far in the league. Look, it's fine if they're in the upper echelon of, most penalized, because you got a lot of young guys on that defense and they're very aggressive. They're going to draw penalties. Fine. I'm fine with that. But you got a lot of veterans on the damn offensive part of the ball, and it's penalty after penalty. And it's not all holds. It's a lot of pre-snap shit. That's on coaching, period, end of story. That's on Mike McCarthy. That's on Mr. Moore. And yeah, the clock management thing, it is an issue. That, again, the screwed up way that game ended, why you didn't get another shot at the end zone, is because that team wasn't properly prepared for a situation like that. That's what Mike McCarthy is supposed to do, is prepare you for all the situations. When they come up, you're ready for it. And it's pretty basic stuff. Hand the ball to the ref, right? Dak didn't know that. Dak didn't know that. I don't put all that on Mike McCarthy. That's on Dak too. You're the damn leader of the offense. You're the quarterback. You're the flagship. You just got paid. You ought to know you got to hand the damn ball to the ref. I mean, you can't spin. You're just going to throw the ball all the time in your backyard to receivers. You're never going to look up a rule book. You're never going to understand any of that shit. I understand. You got to have coaches to tell you stuff. But when you're on that level, don't leave it to them. You got to know that shit. But yeah, the whole season, is a wash. A good part of the season felt like the Cowboys were better. I felt like this was a different kind of team, should have a different result, had a lot of people excited, and you get the same result as you always get. Doesn't matter. Same result. And for all those people out there bitching about Tony Romo forever, he couldn't get it done, he couldn't, only won a couple playoff games, yada, 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 yada. What has Dak done? He's won one playoff game. That's it. He doesn't make the playoffs that often anyway. This is why he's not an elite quarterback. An elite quarterback can, okay, I know this is going to sound like I'm shitting on Dak a whole lot. All right, but he made $75 million this year, guys. He makes $40 million on average for this contract. So let the shit begin, because that's what you get when you get all of that. All right, there's a lot of shit that comes with it, including criticism. So here we go. Let's just be realistic on what he is. He's a good quarterback. He's top 10. He's not top 5. He's not elite. Get that out of your mind. He'll never be elite. He can give you, flashes of elite play. Top 10 quarterbacks can do that. Tony Romo was a top 10 quarterback his entire career. All right. Never was elite. He would look elite sometimes, and other times not so much. That's what makes a top 10 quarterback. That's what makes a good quarterback. But not the great ones. Romo wasn't a great one. Dak isn't a great one. Period. Why didn't Tony Romo win? If you think about it, only a couple times did he have a really good offensive line. Most of the time he had a not so great or mediocre offensive line. Never had an elite offensive line. There were years he had a pretty good defense. Even a top 10. Never had a top 5 defense, but top 10. It may have been rated. I think one year he had a rated top 5 defense, but it really wasn't. it wasn't. I'm talking about a defense that can shut people the hell down. Never had that. Okay, and that's hard to get. I understand. Dak, he had an elite offensive line for the first couple of years of his career. I understand he's learning. He's not to the level he is right now. I understand that. Never had an elite defense. This is probably the best defense he's had for his whole career. And it's frankly why we had 12 wins. But Dak is never going to be good enough to make up for an offensive line that's lacking or for a defense that's lacking. All right. It's got to be right, or Dak isn't going to get you there. I want you to look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, young as hell, second year? Was it second year or something like that? He got coming off a nasty injury himself, career-threatening injury, just like Dak. It's not the same injury, but a bad injury. But this guy's got a suck-ass offensive line. It's not good. The defense is maybe somewhere in the top 10. Probably isn't. Yet this kid with a rookie wide receiver can murder people. Went out and won a playoff game. And I know what you're saying. Well, it was the Raiders. The Raiders kicked our ass, didn't they? Kicked our ass. And we're talking about the 49ers here. You know what's going to happen to the 49ers when they go up to Green Bay? They're going to get massacred. That's what's going to happen. And I get it. Green Bay's not great at stopping the run. They're about as good as us. But I'll tell you one damn thing. That defense of Green Bay, look, they may give up 23, but they're not going to score 17. They're going to score in the 30s. I guarantee you Aaron Rodgers will be in the 30s because he's elite. Whatever deficiencies his team has, he always is able to overcome them, at least most of the time. You can pretty much count on him doing that and dragging a team further sometimes than it should be. But that's an elite guy. We've seen Russell Wilson do it. We've seen Lamar Jackson do it. Hell, we're seeing Joe Burrow do it right now. We saw Peyton Manning do it. We saw Andrew Luck do it. And by the way, I'm naming all these guys. They have at least been in an AFC or NFC championship game. Every one of them, if not to the Super Bowl. Except for Joe Burrow. Well, he's a young kid. And he's already in a divisional round. We'll see where he goes. But right now, what you can tell with Joe Burrow is that he does not have a good offensive line, has not had it his whole career. And it doesn't affect him from putting up points and winning games. He will get that team further than it should have gone. And he's already done that, if you ask me. I know people have had them better, but I'm sorry, if you don't have a great offensive line, or at least a really good offensive line can help you get pretty far in the playoffs. They don't have a good offensive line. That shit's like makeshift and they got like gum and tape on shit. But all those guys can overcome deficiencies on a team. Dak does not overcome anything. He can't. He doesn't have the talent to do that. I know he's a leader. I know he works his ass off. He really does. He works his balls off to be as best as he possibly can. And that's great. He's loved in the locker room. That's great. But he's not elite. All right. He's probably like the 8th best quarterback in the league. On a best, I'll have to break it down, but I can't. 7, 8, that's about as high as you can put him. And in mid-year, I was like, man, this dude's making an argument to be a top 5 quarterback. But then he showed his ass. I'm sorry, but he did. The real Dak showed up. One and done. So chances are they're going to stick with McCarthy. They're going to stick with a lot of people they probably shouldn't stick with, but they're going to. That's Dallas's MO. It's what they do. They always hold on to people longer than they should. So McCarthy will probably be here next year. I'll be a little surprised if they fire him. And if they do, good. Just hopefully the next guy is good, whether it's Eric Bieniemy or Dan Quinn or whoever, Yeah, it's fine. Hopefully those guys can work out if they do. At this point with a Dallas Cowboys head coach, I'm about show me. I'm about show me. I don't care what you did somewhere else. Let's see it here. And McCarthy ain't showing shit. Sorry, I thought he was going to be way better, but we can already tell. Everyone can already tell. This guy, this isn't there. This guy was made by Aaron Rodgers. I mean, all the crap people have said that I didn't think was true is true. Aaron Rodgers made Mike McCarthy. He's not that good. So yeah, 2021 down the drain. We thought it was something. It wasn't. It was just another forgettable season. And chances are the next 3, 4, pretty much the rest of Dak Prescott's career is going to be pretty much the same thing. Once in a while, if, like I said, if you get the perfect storm, he could take you somewhere and we may have a great season with Dak. Maybe. We'll see if that ever happens. Until then, I'm going to keep showing up every year and watching and just saying, okay, let's see if this is the year that we get lucky. Because with Dak Prescott, you got to get lucky. Let's see if we get lucky this year. Oh, we didn't? Well, that's not a shock. It's not a shock. If you're just waiting on winning the lotto every day, chances are you're going to be disappointed every day. So I'm going to buy another lottery ticket next year and see what the hell happens. All right, well, that's all I got on that. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.